day 8th. So, very auspicious month of Kartik going on. And today is the 8th day. So, we will meditate some very interesting aspect of spirituality from the Vedic literatures. And this session is humbly dedicated to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of the worldwide Hare Krishna movement. Srila Prabhupada ki. So, we started the theme of this this year's Kartik meditation on day 1 by comparing our life with an exam. In fact, our life is not just one exam, but it's a series of exams. There are a set of tests that we are subjected to, which we don't like, but the question paper for each one of us varies. But there is one exam that each one of us have to go through. Whether we are literate, whether we are illiterate, whether we are PhD, whether we are a student, a school dropout, doesn't matter. We have to face this exam of life. That exam of life, as per the Vedic scriptures, is death. That nobody wants, but everybody has to face it. And the Vedic scriptures, cutting across all the literatures, they talk about what is the yardstick, what is the criteria to become successful in this exam of life, the ultimate exam called death. So there's a beautiful verse which comes in Bhagavatam. It says, Etavan Sankhya Yoga Bhyam Swadharma Paranishtaya Janma Labha Parapumsan Ante Narayana Smriti. If we are able to remember the Lord at the time of death, this is not my opinion, this is the Vedic scriptures. These are the Acharyas telling, Ante Narayana Smriti. Rare human form of life is given to us. The childhood time goes in playing, not bothering about what's going on, what are the important things. Youth goes in chasing after the opposite sex. Then the marriage happens and people are busy with their household life, taking care of so many responsibilities. Then comes the old age, where you are dependent on somebody else, not able to do your own things. Finally death comes. I did so much of hard work, I spent so much of time here and there. Ante Narayana Smriti didn't happen. Then it's a useless waste of life. But how do we do this? What is the way that we can achieve this? Festival month, it gives us an opportunity to make that delta change in our life. You see, if you remain the same throughout your life, the whole year, 1 raised to 365 is same as 1. But 1.01, just 1%, it makes 37.7. Huge difference. Just a little baby step, a little delta change in our life can make a huge difference. So that was our theme. Then the second day we spoke about, if this kind of an exam I have to appear, where should I get the knowledge? Whom to receive the knowledge from, and what kind of knowledge should I receive? That is also very beautifully given in the third verse of first canto, second chapter, where in Bhagavatam it is mentioned. Yasvanubhavam akhila shrutisāramekam adhyatmadīpamatitīrshatāṃ tamo andham samsārinām karunayāha purāna guhyam tam vyāsasunamupayāmi gurum munīnām. What knowledge to receive? What will help us to remember the Lord at the time of death? And where to receive this knowledge? We spoke this elaborately. Then the third day we spoke about this powerful medicine, a tonic that we should always use. This verse we spoke, the 8 times the use of the word Ausadha and the 7 benefits of this. So the Ausadha was actually the Ausadha of Krishna's glories hearing. Day 4th, we saw the mentality of the toppers. Sometimes, when somebody becomes successful in competitive exams, their photos are put in some media. There are interviews which are done for them. How did you become successful? What was the secret of your success? In this life, in this ultimate exam of life that we are going to face, here are the toppers. The toppers are the gopis of Krishna, and the topmost amongst them is Srimati Radharani. So we saw this verses from Bhagavatam which talks about the beautiful melodious sound which Krishna produces by playing his flute. And that remembrance of that flute sound is something spoken by the gopis in the form of Venu Gita. And we saw how, like in this movie, the protagonist or the hero, the character, the main person says that that peak of that mountain is my Laksha. Similarly, here the toppers who are standing somewhere in this corner, in this picture, the gopis, who are just seeing Krishna along with his cowherd boys going with the cows and the calves to the forest, and very desperately looking because they are going to miss the vision, the darshan of the Lord the whole day. And they're very, the last glance they want to have. And they're saying, when Krishna looks back, turns back, and carrying the flute in his hand, that looking back of Krishna should be the object of our vision. For those who have eyes, we think there is no greater object of vision. So people often come to temple, I say, and they keep looking at time. My God, in a temple we are spending so much time. The wife keeps doing some elbow. Oh yeah, time, chalo, niklo. But actually when we come to the temple, we should have darshan of the Lord. Our senses should get completely satisfied by looking at the Lord. All small aspects, beautifully decorated form of the Lord. When we see, we don't know how unknowingly we make so much of advancement, so much of sinful activities, so much of sinful proclivities in our heart gets cleansed just by having the darshan of the Lord. That should be the vision of our life. Fifth day, we spoke about how do we mold our life. And there are 5 things which, this verse talks about. Very important. Sadhu Sangha, association of devotees. Nam Kirtan, chanting the names of the Lord. Bhagavat Shravan, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Mathura Vas, living in a place of pilgrimage or in a temple. And Sri Murtira Shraddhaya Sevan. Sri Murtira Shraddhaya Sevan is doing deity worship. So these are the 5 limbs which can help us to mold our life. And there's a beautiful verse which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaks of in his Sikshashtakam, Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. The secret to mold our life is revealed in this, where what should be our attitude, what should be our mentality is given. Trinadapi Sunichena, thinking oneself to be humbler than the grass or the straw in the street. And Tarorapi Sahishnuna, having more tolerance than that of the tree. A tree, when we throw a stone, it gives us a ripe fruit. The wood of the tree is cut and used for house. Even people burn it to get some heat. It always gives, never complains. But we have to be more tolerant than the tree. Tarorapi Sahishnuna. Amanina Manadena, never expecting any respect for oneself, giving respect to everyone. Then only one can chant the names of the Lord continuously. You can. Kirtaniya Sadahari. Day 6th, we saw how to become an instrument in the hands of the Lord. And the beautiful example of the pen in the hand of a person who's writing the exam. Credit goes to the person who wrote, but actually the act of execution or the act of writing is done by the pen. So Krishna in Bhagavad Gita in this beautiful verse says how we can become an instrument in his hand. Tasmat tvam utishta yasho labhasva jitva satrun bhungsva rajyam samruddham maya vaite nihata purvam eva nimitta matram bhava sabhyasachin. We saw this, Krishna's flute, the mortar, how they are instruments and how they become empowered, and how we also in our life can become instruments. But one of the qualities which is needed to become an instrument in Krishna's hand is snigdheshu pandusu. Our character we should be malleable. We should adapt to Krishna's plans. When we adapt to Krishna's plan, when we surrender to Krishna's plan, Krishna becomes purchased. Sarathya parasada sevana sakhya dautya virasana anugamana stavana pranamam. Sarathya, Krishna became the charioteer. He became the messenger. He used to worship Yudhishthir Maharaj. He became the night watchman. Everything he did because of this one quality of Pandavas, that is snigdheshu. They were very malleable. Snigdheshu. If we have a lot of false ego, if we think that I am the doer, I am the controller, because of me this has happened. With that mentality of proprietorship or controller comes the mentality to enjoy. If I have done this, then I'm entitled to enjoy the fruits of my action. That is where the problem lies. That is where the gratitude in the heart goes away. When we start thinking that I have done everything, then I look for entitlements, and in the process gratitude goes away. And we can't become an instrument in the hands of the Lord. Yesterday we saw how for an exam we give some mock tests, or we sometimes give some previous year's question paper. We see that. Especially for those of you who have written GRE, there is something called Barron's high frequency word list. So if you have mugged up this, at least there is a good chance that 50% of those questions will come from this. So we saw a beautiful prayer from Mukundamala Stotra of a great devotee called Kulashekar Alvar, who states the problem and also says the solutions. So it has happened to him, he has seen and he has experienced that, and he is sharing this. So what was the verse? He martya paramam hitam shrunuto vo vakshyami sanksepata samsararnavamapadurmi bahulam samyak pravishya sthita nana jnanamapasya chetasi namo narayaneti amum mantram sapranavam pranama sahitam pravartayadvam muhu. Hey Martya, hey is a form of addressing someone, somebody who's too busy, too distracted in life, doing something, maybe watching something in his phone and walking and crossing the road. Somebody says, hey! So he becomes conscious, he becomes aware, oh, I'm being called. Hey Martya, Martya is all of us who have taken birth. We are going to die one moment, but we are busy, not caring about it. Arey, who cares? What time are we? Hey Martya, Paramam Hitam, I'm going to tell you the most beneficial thing. Yesterday I was telling about that song, Jai Jagadisha Hare. In that there is one, not Dhanam Dehi, Sukham Janam Dehi, it comes Dhana Sampati, ne. Sukh Sampati Ghar Aave, Kasht Mite Tan Ka Om Jai. That was not coming. So, but people come, they ask, give me little prosperity, give me little money, give me little health, so that I can live happily. But these are all temporary hita. He is telling, Kulashekar Alvar is telling, hey Martya, paramam hitam. I am going to tell you the ultimate beneficial thing. Shrunuto vo vakshyami sankshepataha. How long you are going to tell? How long you will take to explain this? Don't worry. You all have very less time, we understand that. Sankshepataha. I am going to tell you in very less time. What are you going to tell? He's telling, first you understand what kind of an exam you are going to appear. What is that exam that you are going to appear? What is the condition? Samsarar navam apad urmi bahulam samyak pravishyastitha. This samsara, actually our acharyas, the great devotees of the Lord, the scriptures, they are telling it is compared to be an ocean. Samsarar navam apad urmi bahulam. It is an ocean, apad, and there are a lot of waves in this ocean. Apad urmi bahulam, not just one or two, many thousands, unlimited waves are coming. Apad urmi bahulam, and they are all very dangerous. Imagine a big wave that comes in the midst of the ocean. You are thinking that the ocean is calm. All of a sudden one big wave comes, like there are tsunami, which can destroy the whole city. Samsara arnavam apad urmi bahulam, and there are a lot of waves. And where are you? Am I there in the shore or somewhere? I'm just looking passively, observing it? No. Samyak pravishya sthitaha. You are there deep within the ocean, deep, properly situated. Then what to do then? What is our solution? Then the next two lines he explains. Nana jnanam apasya chetasi namo narayaneti amum mantram sapranavam pranama sahitam pravartyadvam muhu. Very beautiful thing. Nana jnanam apasya. First thing that you do is give up all your knowledge. All the material knowledge that you have, keep it aside. Very good. You are a PhD, postdoc, great. You are doing nice. Keep it aside. Nana jnanam apasya. Chetasi namo narayaneti amuhu. Chetasi, from your consciousness, from within, chant the names of the Lord. Chant narayaneti. Amum mantram sa pranavam. Along before that, Om Namo Narayanaya. Chant this mantra. Pranama sahitam, and bow down before the Lord. Yesterday I was telling how many people come and how they do different kinds of obeisances. People find it very difficult to come before the Lord, to fall down, to bow down. Oh my God, what will happen to my clothes that I'm wearing? It's very nice new dress that I have purchased. Or what about my body? It's having some ache. My knee is paining, my back is paining, my hand is paining. I'll not bow down. There are different kinds of people who do different kinds of obeisances. Somebody will come and they will just go around, some 3-4 rounds they'll do, and then they'll go doing this. The famous one which I saw, which I told you yesterday. Yeah? And then he goes, Lord, ho gaya, Bhagwan ne kaun hai pata nahi. And then they go with a flying kiss. So, but it is saying pranama sahitam. Actually, we don't know the value of just bowing down before the Lord. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he says, Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Manmana, think of me, we find it difficult. Mad bhakto, become my devotee, oh Baba, oh, more difficult. Madhyaji, worship me, kaun karega? Mam namaskuru, at least worship, at least bow down. So this we saw yesterday. There are beautiful verses which we, time permits, we will chant. But what are we going to do today? So those 5 things that was mentioned previously, 5 recommended ways to mold our life. The first thing in that is sadhu sangha, association of devotees. What actually happens in association of devotees? That we will try to see today. Before we do that, imagine if you fail in the exam. How many of you have written GRE? Anybody has written here? None of you? Okay, none. Okay. How many times you have written? Once or twice? Once. Okay. So there's, I've also written once GRE, but I wrote CAT 5 times. Every time I used to fail, I used to see that, okay, my percentile is not good enough to get into IIMs. I used to have one mentality that again, somehow there used to come some inspiration from within that, okay, next time I'm going to do it better. So what if we are not able to remember the Lord at the time of death? What if knowingly we tried but we failed? What should be our prayer? It's a very interesting verse. It comes, this is spoken by Parikshit Maharaj, where he knows that he is going to die in 7 days. The sages have assembled over there, and he says that if at all I die unsuccessfully, oh sages, I have got this one prayer. Oh Lord, I am just praying for this one thing I'm praying. I've got these 3 desires. Please kindly fulfill. You can repeat after me this beautiful verse, and then we will see what are those 3 things that he is asking for. Punascha bhuyad bhagavati anante rati prasangascha tadashrayeshu mahatsu yamyam upayami srishtim maitri astu sarvatra namo dvijebhya. Often people come, they stand before the deities, they don't know what to ask for. So जो भी है, some माताजीs, they will ask, okay, मेरे husband को अच्छा धन मिलता रहे, घर गृहस्थी चलता रहे, बच्चों को पढ़ाई मिलता है, उनको थोड़ा बुद्धि मिले, they do well in their exams and studies, घर में problem ना हो, something like that. The husbands, they will say, okay, मेरा बीवी कम से कम मेरा बात सुनती रहे, मेरे को खाना देते रहे, जो भी, all of those things. But here is the prayer of a person who is a great devotee of the Lord, and he is now facing the most challenging thing, that ultimate exam. He is going to die, but he is telling, if I fail, oh Lord, oh sages who have assembled, please grant me these 3 things. If I again take birth, what if I again take birth? What should happen to me? How should I be? Very beautiful verse. Punascha bhuyad bhagavati anante. Punah, if I take birth again, punascha bhuyad bhagavati anante rati prasangascha tadashrayeshu. Let me have attraction, rati, for the Supreme Lord. Easy to get attracted to so many other things. What is that place which you went to? What is that? Six Flags. We can go to Six Flags. We can go to the Disneyland. We can go to some what studio is that? Universal Studio. We can go to so many other places. We get attracted. Oh, let's go to that waterfall, Niagara Fall. All people are, you don't need any invitation for that. You hear, what did you say? Six Flags. Yeah, come on, let's go. But he is asking, Punascha bhuyad bhagavati anante rati. Let me have attraction to Krishna. Let me have attraction to that Supreme Lord who's unlimited, ananta. Punascha bhuyad bhagavati anante rati. Prasangascha tadashrayeshu. How should I have attraction, and what else I should have? Second thing, prasangascha tadashrayeshu mahatsuyamya. Tadashrayeshu, who has taken shelter, let me be there in the association of those devotees. Let me be always there in association of the devotees. Tadashrayeshu mahatsu. Yamyam upayami shrishti maitri astu sarvatra namo dvijebhya. And let me have maitri, let me have friendship with all living entities, everybody, let me have friendship with them. Why is he praying? One can understand that, he's asking for having an attraction for Krishna. But why one should be in the association of devotees? What exactly happens in association of devotees? That's the first thing which is mentioned in that 5 things. Sadhu Sangha. What is the importance? Why should we associate with devotees? That is what we will see, and we are already late, but very beautiful thing. Pay attention to this. Somebody can think in his mind that I will stay in my house, I will do pious activities, I will not harm anyone, I will continue to do my pious activities, and that's all, life is fine. But it is not true. One has to come in association of devotees to understand, to learn, to practice, to get the inspiration to go. How that happens, let's see this. This is a verse you don't have to repeat. I'll just chant myself and I'll tell you what is the secret in this. Raghuganaita tapasa nayati na chejjaya nirba panad grahadva na chandasa naiva jalagni suryer bina mahatpada rajobhishekam. Actually, some of these verses of Bhagavatam, they give you the context, they explain you the situation, and they give you the solution. When you know, sometimes when somebody says, what is your problem? What kind of disease you have? You say, I have got typhoid. Oh, typhoid, okay. So just take this medicine and it will cure. So your faith in taking that medicine sometimes becomes less, especially for a doctor. But if the doctor explains, okay, the typhoid happens because of this reason, these are the root cause, it affects this part of your body, and when you take a medicine which has got this chemical, it acts in this way to recover. Then your faith in that whole medicine becomes so strong, you take it with great faith. There's a placebo effect. Just by taking with that faith, that disease gets cured. So here the problem statement is mentioned by Jada Bharat. He's telling, Rahu Ganita tapasa nayati. Somebody may think that, okay, I can achieve that perfection of human life just by doing austerity. Nayati. No, this is not going to happen by just doing austerity. Nacha ijjaya. Okay, I'll sit in my home and I'll do some worship. No, it will not happen. Nirbapanad grahadva. Okay, so you are telling I have to renounce. No, I'll take care of my family fully. I'll finish all the responsibilities and I'll take sannyas. Nirbapanad grahadva. He's telling even by taking sannyas it will not happen. Na chandasa naiva jalagni suryer. Even if you practice celibacy, you remain a brahmachari, you are reading Vedic literatures, still it will not happen. Okay, jalagni suryer. What if I'm in a very cold season, like in winter, I'm standing in the night in a waist deep water and meditating on Chandra or Surya? No, it will still not happen. Why? Bina mahatpada rajobhishekam. Unless somebody gets the dust, abhishekam, dust of the lotus feet of a pure devotee, this is impossible. You have to take the dust of the lotus feet. The transformation in the heart, that bhakti doesn't sprout. It's a mysterious thing. So there is then the purport Prabhupada is writing, a materialistic person sometimes thinks that simply by executing pious activities and remaining at home, one can understand the absolute truth. That is denied in this verse. Nor can one understand the absolute truth simply by observing the rules and regulations of brahmacharya. One only has to serve the devotees of the Lord. That will help one understand the absolute truth without fail. Okay. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, the author, before he writes, he's saying, Chota bada bhakta gana, bando savara shri charana, sabe moro karaha santos, Swarupa Gosaira mata, rupa raghunatha jane yata, tai likhi nahi mor dos. Choto bada bhakta gana. There is no chota bada bhakta. Oh, itne saal se hai, ye kam hai. Choto bada bhakta gana. Whether you are small, big, doesn't matter. Bando savara Sri Charana. I am just worshipping the lotus feet of every one of you. Sabe moro karaha santos. Please bless me. Swarupa Gosaira mata. This is Swarup Damodar who has given this instruction. Rupa Raghunatha jane yata. Rupa Goswami and Raghunath Goswami, they know this, that I have been asked to write. I am an old man, 90-year-old man. My eyes I can't see. My hands are shaking. I am not able to hear. But because they have given this instruction, oh, chota bada bhaktagana, everybody, please bless me. Tahi likhi nahi mor doso. That's why I'm writing this wonderful, the life history of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. More doso. This is not my fault. I'm just doing it because I've been asked. Please bless me so that I can do it. What happened to this? Is there? Okay. I don't know how it. So this is what he's telling. So why this devotees association is required? One more step, and then I'll give you the proper explanation of this thing, how it helps us in life. This is a verse again in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It says, Jnanavalambakaha kechit karmavalambakaha, vayam tu haridasanam pada trinavalambakaha, Jnanavalambakaha kechit. A person who is a jnani, he thinks I am a self-made man. I will study, I'll do the austerity, I'll practice, and on the strength of the knowledge, I will be able to perfect my life. Jnanavalambakaha kechit, kechit karmavalambakaha. Karmis, they are thinking I will do my activities in a pious way. I will not do any sinful activities. This karma, this puja, that puja, this thing, that thing I will do. I'll accumulate pious credit and I'll achieve the perfection in human life. Kechit karma avalambakaha. But bhayam tu haridasanam padatrana valambakaha. Haridasanam, the people who are the devotees of the Lord, who knows that the only way by which we can attain the Lord is by the process of devotion, they don't depend on their own efforts. They depend on padatrana. Padatrana is the slippers of a devotee. Why? Because our parampara, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself says, I am neither a sannyasi, I am not a Vipra, I am not a Brahmana, I am not a Vaishnava, I am not a Brahmachari. Who are you? Gopi Bhartrur Padakamalayor Dasa Dasanudasa. I am the servant of Gopi Bhartrur Padakamalayor. Gopi Bhartru is Krishna. Krishna is servant of servant. So Vayam tu Haridasanam Padatrana Valambakaha. This process can only be practiced in association of devotees. Without that association of devotees, impossible. If somebody thinks it is an hallucination or illusion, if he thinks that I can do it at my home, you have to come in association of devotees, then only this is possible. How does it work? I'll skip this verse for the paucity of time. We will take this one verse. This is a verse which is spoken by Dhruva Maharaj. Very beautiful verse. And it reveals what happens in the association of devotees. So let us chant this verse. Bhaktim muhu prabhatam tvai me prasango bhuyad ananta mahatam amala sayanam yenanjaso labanam uruvyasanam bhavadbhim nesye bhavat gunakatha mritapanamattaha. Now imagine all of you, okay, you have come to the temple, you are about to leave and you are opening your car door. Suddenly you see Krishna is appearing like this, okay, with the flute, whatever that object of vision, and you immediately, first thing maybe when you see Krishna, really somebody has come in the dress of Krishna in disguise, black color and this thing and all, that kind of a doubt may come. But I'm assuming that you overcome that doubt and you realize this is Krishna, okay, and Krishna, you just bow down. Krishna said, Utho bats, Utho. So you all got up, and then Krishna is asking, ask for a benediction. What will you ask? Yes, what will be your first thought? I am ready to give anything. Ask. I am here for you. Family safe, very good. Little good grades. Good grades is a must. And maybe in future, if you can make me a doctor or an engineer or something like that. That's all. I mean, I don't want anything. It's this is enough. So, how old are you? 12. Okay, you're much elder. This prayer is offered by a small boy, 5-year-old boy whose name is Dhruva. How old are you? Okay, she wants to increase a little bit so that okay, just a 5-year-old boy. Anybody 5-year? We is anyway. No, nobody is 5-year-old here. How old are you? No, 12. Okay. Dhruva Maharaj had the darshan of the Lord. The Lord appeared because of his austerity. So imagine if Lord has appeared and all of us who are devotees, we know our goal is go back home, back to Godhead, right? So immediately when the Lord has appeared, what do you want? I'm so happy with your this thing. Tell me, oh Lord, I want to just go back home, back to Godhead. But here, Dhruva Maharaj, 5-year-old boy, having been touched by the counsel of the Lord, is asking something which is a great revelation, very great revelation. Bhaktim muhu prabhatam tvai me prasango bhuyad ananta mahatam amala sayanam. I want to practice devotion, muhu, constantly, always. Bhakti muhu pravahatam tvai me prasango bhuyad ananta mahatam amala sayanam. With whom? In association of devotees. I want that association of devotees. I mean, what? Are you crazy? I mean, okay, I can understand you want to practice devotion, but why in association of devotees? Tvai me prasango bhuyad ananta mahatam. They are great. Bhuyad ananta mahatam amala sayanam. They are completely free from the material contamination. I want to practice devotion with them. So, Krishna, in his mind, might question this. Are you not scared about this material world? What about this material world? You are here stuck in this place. What about that? So he's answering. Yenanjaso ulbanam uruvyasanam bhavadbhim. Three things he's telling. Ulbanam, vyasanam, bhavadbhim. This is an ocean which we saw yesterday. Ocean of birth and death. Vyasanam is very dangerous. Ulbanam, it is very terrible place. Arey, come on, you are saying this is terrible. This is dangerous. And this is an ocean. And you are asking to be in association of devotees. What is the secret? Why? Last line he reveals. Nesye bhavad gunakatha mritapana mattaha. Anybody here who is little drunk? Anything? I don't know, this is a temple, we shouldn't ask this, but I'm just saying, have you tried? Okay, you need not raise your hands. You might have had some friends. You're all nice people, you're coming to temple. You would have never touched this. But I have touched, so I can give my own experience. But keeping it aside, somebody whom you have seen, either in movies or in real life, your friends who are drinking, what happens to those people when they are intoxicated? Sometimes, these people, when they get intoxicated, if you go and slap them also, they don't care. Theek hai, mara. Baad mein, I mean, they may cry out of some sentiment, mara mujhe, jo bhi hai, but still at that point in time, they don't react. Or they have, sometimes they'll fall into some kind of drain or something. They're happy there, happily settled. Why? Because chala gaya andar. Andar ek bar chala gaya, then whatever problem comes, whatever happens, they're in a state of high. So what Dhruva Maharaj is telling is, Nesye bhavad gunakatha mritapana mattaha. I'm intoxicated by hearing the glories of you, O Lord, in association of devotees. Even if this material world, which is terrible place, full of dangers, and it has got, it is an ocean of birth and death, it doesn't matter to me. Nesye bhavad gunakathamrita panamattaha. Because I am just so intoxicated. This effect of Harikatha only acts when we come in association of devotees. Otherwise it doesn't. Sometimes people think, okay, it's too much, who has to go to the temple? Maybe तो वो लोग live streaming कर रहे हैं YouTube में, उसी में देख लेंगे. It is not the same. It's a huge difference. Those of you who are coming and those of you who watch from the YouTube in the home, of course it is better than not doing that. At least you watched in the YouTube. But the live Harikatha, when it happens, there is a mystical potency which gets released. That gives us that inspiration coming in us. Let me also develop a little bit like that. Let me also become like that. Let me also chant. Let me follow this Kartik month. Let me take this vow. And that is how our life becomes transformed. That is how our life gets changed. That is why every single devotee, when they pray, the first thing they ask is Sadhu Sangha. I need that association of devotees. We have been having, we finished the, in Bhagavatam, the pastime of Narad Muni, how when he was the son of a maid servant, how he was not like, unlike the children who are very fond of playing and who are, very disturbed, they can't sit in one place. He was very quiet. He was not interested in playing. He was very interested in knowing this Vedic literatures. But there is one thing which is mentioned in that, Chakru Kripa or Chakru Daya. Chakru Kripa or Chakru Daya. Chakru Kripa, because there was some blessings of the devotees that the bhakti got sprouted. Actually, Shri Shri Radha Damodar ki jai, Shri Shri Nitai Gauranga ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So the bhakti, the mysterious thing, it doesn't happen by some kind of there's no way to describe it. The only way somebody gets interested in doing this bhakti, because this is a volition, it happens voluntarily within the heart. It happens when the devotees spend time, when the devotees share the secret with that person, that the bhakti gets sprouted. So this is the meditation for today. Next 4 minutes we will have our Damodar Ashtakam. Before we finish, so we just spoke about this important aspect, the sadhu sangha, which is so important, and which often people think they don't know enough about it, or they don't value it. Maybe they know it, but they don't know how much it is important. That's why when we see all the prayers of all these great devotees, we get to know the importance of being in association of devotees. Sometimes people think, why will I go there? Let me just avoid that and do everything else. I'll do some service. No, we'll not be able to do even that service for long with the right consciousness if we don't have association of devotees. This is the important thing. Let us chant this verse one more time before we close for Damodarashtakam. Bhaktim muhu prabhatam tvai me prasango bhuyadananta mahatam amalasayanam येनाञ्जशोल्बनं मुरुव्यसनं भवाद्भिः नेस्ये भवद्गुणकथामृतपानमत्तः. I still have 3 minutes. We will chant one prayer which we were chanting yesterday. You can repeat, very beautiful prayer. This is from the Mukundamala Stotra. श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेवा श्री कृष्ण भक्त प्रिय चक्रपाणे श्री पद्मनाभाच्युत कैटभारे श्रीराम पद्माक्ष हरे मुरारे अनंत वैकुंठ मुकुंद कृष्ण गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति भक्तुं समर्थोऽपि न भक्ति कश्चित् अहो जनानां व्यसनाभिमुख्यम् श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्री कृष्ण भक्त प्रिय चक्रपाणे श्री पद्मनाभाच्युत कैटभारे श्रीराम पद्माक्ष हरे मुरारे अनंत वैकुंठ मुकुंद कृष्ण गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति वक्तुं समर्थोऽपि न वक्ति कश्चित् अहो जनानां व्यसनाभिमुख्यम्. Actually, even if we don't understand the meaning, these verses are so powerful, it gives a soothing feeling to our heart when we chant it with feelings. So tomorrow is a very auspicious day. It's actually the Bahulastami, or the appearance day of Radhakund and Shyamakund. So it's a very auspicious day. If you're able to come tomorrow, do join us, and we will hear the importance of how did Radhakund, Shyamakund appear. Of course, if you are busy, you will miss it, but at least try to see it online if you're able to. So with this, we will stop here. Shri Shri Kartik Damodar Month ki